bastard, apparently.
That makes sense. But his villain's good in this. I don't know.
Randall's awesome. Yeah.
Randall's great. It's 11C is weird. That's a weird ranking right there. But I still like I would take all the Toy Stories out and just move this one up.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I think I got 2 of the Toy Stories higher than this. 1 and 3. I really have a lot of attachment to those ones. But yeah, I think Monsters Inc. should be higher.
Now,
but it's a middle of the road film for a lot of people.
10, Ratatouille.
Yes, it's in the top 10.
Yes.
I'm happy about that.
It has to be. Like,
yes.
Consensus, it kind of has to be. And I think it has one of my favorite moments when the food critic tastes the Ratatouille and he just goes back to being a child. Like, it's just such like a really neat scene. It just, I don't know, it builds, I was watching it earlier today, the final, and it gets me every time.
It is, yeah. I mean, Anton Ego is a really good villain as well in the films, and he's one of the villains that he has like a redemption at the end. It ends up as a good character, which is kind of odd in the Pixar films. Their villains tend to stay villains, at least in the confines of that film. Like Sid becomes not a villain outside of the first Toy Story. I listened to the Toy Story Minute podcast covering the Toy Story film 1 minute at a time, and they have theories like after the first Toy Story film, Sid would have he gets a job at working as a rubbish collector in Toy Story 3. So he's trying to save toys. He knows they're alive, so he's checking all of the trash for toys that he then takes home and saves.
Aww.
And I love that theory. There's no proof for it, but I love it. But yeah, Ratatouille, I love this and I love WALL-E because they have some great silent comedy to them, or like silent filmmaking. The first half of WALL-E is a silent film.
Yeah.
And Ratatouille, whenever he's like running around the kitchen, it's generally like wordless when he's the action sequence where he's being hunted by Ian Holm. I can't remember his Skinner. It's a silent scene. Basically, it's like Buster Keaton-esque comedy and action and motion. And I think it's fantastic. And the food, they've managed to make animated food look delicious.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how they did it.
How happy they are when they bite into that. Oh my gosh. So before we get any further, who's your favorite of the Pixar directors? Like, who are some that, like, because they stick around for a lot of these films.
They do. I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, my gut reaction is Andrew Stanton because he did WALL-E and Finding Nemo, which are 2 of my, and Finding Dory. So that's 3 of my favourites. So Lee Unkrich did Toy Story 3, which I love. But he did Coco, which is fine. I'd probably have to go with Stanton.
I mean, Stanton, like he's probably made the most iconic, right? WALL-E.
Yeah. WALL-E and Nemo. Yeah. I mean, Brad Bird's got to be up there with Incredibles and Ratatouille.
Now, Lee Unkrich, he has a 98.2% average for the 5 movies he directed or co-directed. Isn't that crazy? He did Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Toy Story 3, and Coco.
He didn't do Finding Nemo.
Yeah, he
Andrew
co-directed it.
Finding Nemo.
But didn't
Andrew Stanton did it.
He co-directed Finding Nemo, did he not? Or was that just Andrew Stanton?
I thought it was just Andrew Stanton. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what it was.
Got it. And then Pete Docter has like 97.3 and Stanton has 95%. But that's crazy. Like, to direct those films have a 95% average.
Yeah, what's like Spielberg got? What's his average?
Oh, not that.
No, it's got to be lower than that.
Yeah, but these guys they pump out quality. And I dig. Oh, did you find that? Let me look this up. I want to make sure this isn't wrong. Finding Nemo, director, screenwriter. Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Toy Story 3, Monsters U, Good Dinosaur, and Coco.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, he directed Coco, he directed Toy Story 3, Finding Nemo, and Monsters Inc. Is that not right? Because I don't know, it says on Rotten Tomatoes.
It says on IMDb as well that he co-directed Finding Nemo. I was looking at Wikipedia. Sorry.
Oh, got it. Oh no. Hey, how about
there's disagreement on the internet? Who knew?
How about this? Number 9, Inside Out. Oh wait, I got to tell you something
way too
cool.
high.
National
way
Treasure.
Too high.
National Treasure uses one of my articles on their Wikipedia. So National Treasure, one of my favorite movies, references one of my articles about National Treasure on the Wikipedia page. Greatest moment of my life, by the way.
I mean, I was going through the Disney Plus catalog before we started recording, and I saw National Treasure 1 and 2 on there, and they got added to my list.
Greatest movies ever made, called National Treasure.
I love them.
I got
to a library.
We need lemons. There's a bowl of lemons. I got into an argument with somebody. I was like, it's a national treasure. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, the movie's a national treasure. And I just got into an argument with a guy about, like, I knew it was in jest, but he got really worked up. But
it's not, Mark. It's an international treasure. Because I love it too.
That's right. Even after, yeah. I mean, I hope they make the third one. I mean, that guy from Bad Boys 3 has some heat, so hopefully his screenplay is good.
Yeah, let's hope so.
So you said Inside Out is too high.
Yes. This is my number 20. I am not a fan of Inside Out. I have it on Blu-ray. Bought it sight unseen. It's a film I just don't get. I've watched it I think 3 times and I don't get the love behind it. I don't understand I can't get past the concept. I think is my main problem of anthropomorphized emotions. Yeah. Just I can't buy into it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And when you bring in everyone goes on about how the imaginary friend in it, whose name I can't remember.
Bing Bong.
Yes. And how it's such a tragic arc to him, and I can't get past wait, people have imaginary friends? I thought that was made up for films. And I can't have any kind of emotional attachment to this imaginary friend. I just can't. The 5 emotions, I put air quotes around that. You can't see that.
Oh, yeah.
Emotions. They're all well cast. Amy Poehler's joy is great. Phyllis Smith's sadness. Lewis Black as anger. Bill Hader as fear. of Minnie Kenny as disgust. They're perfectly cast, but I don't think they should exist. So I just can't get past that.
The Bing Bong gets me. I think Amy Poehler is just so alive with her voice work. You're right. I love Richard Kind in it. Phyllis Smith. I like it. I had it in my top 10, but I get what you're saying.
This is more a problem with me than anyone else in terms of why I don't like it. It's never gelled with me. I've had a lot of debates with people about this. 2 people have it as their number 1 of all time Pixar films. There's a couple of 2s, there's 3s, there's 4s. It's really high ranked for a lot of people, and very few are in agreement with me that it's not great.
All right, and next in our list, Coco.
Maybe the one I've seen the least, other than Onward. That's why it's not ranked highly for me, just because I think I've only seen it all the way through once, maybe twice. But when I saw it in the cinema, I was in tears at the end. It was a real abrupt. It's quite an emotional story going through, but at the end it just punches you in the face with you're gonna cry now.
Yeah.
So all right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Oh man, I love Gael Garcia Bernal in it. I think he does excellent. I think Benjamin Bratt is Ernesto de la Cruz. I mean, that is.
I love Benjamin Bratt. I love Benjamin Bratt in anything.
What a great
villain. Demolition Man any day of the week.
You know what I hate though? There's this review. They're like, not top tier Pixar, but decent enough.
Oh my god!
What? And that's a top critic. What are you talking about? Not top tier Pixar, but it's visually beautiful. It tells a story.
How many films are they allowing in Pixar's top tier? Yeah. It could be 16, I think. It could be almost all of their films are top tier Pixar.
Doesn't it just seem like it just seems kind of lazy? I read one like that, but I don't know. The kid can't sing anymore because of and then he goes to I don't know. I love The Land of the Dead. I love the way it moves on. I love the ending. Gael Garcia Bernal. I thought he was just really good as Hector. I really liked Hector in it. I just really dug this movie. I don't know. It makes me happy. I don't know. It's a different world.
It's a great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
Songs in it are awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. So for me, I would put this on. This is in my top 4. Just put on and watch. It just makes me happy. It's a different. Yeah. Maybe I just like the different world of it.
I just need to spend more time with it. That's all. That's why. There's all these other films I'm more familiar with. I had to put higher than it. If I watched it a few more times, then it could very well rise up the ranking for me.
That's the problem with these Pixar movies. It's basically when you've watched it, and these lists could change every day.
Yeah.
I guess if everyone's list changed, all the 30 people in our data set, the results would kind of be the same. I think WALL-E, never mind. But I think they would still be close, right? But there would be some shuffling.
I think so, yeah. If everyone sat down, just blocked out a weekend to watch 22 films in a row, and then we did this ranking, it would be very different.
I'd be exhausted.
Mainly because Onward would have more votes because people would have seen it instead of the 5 people that have seen it.
It's finally over. I feel so bad for that movie. I mean, that
Onward 5 out of 5. Everyone gives it top yours. I can sleep now.
Yeah. Number 1. Now 7, 6, and 5 are Toy Story.
Yeah, 2, 3, 1.
And I mean that is it's great. I mean, Toy Story kicked off Pixar. I mean, I think some people forget how important Toy Story was. I mean, revolutionary. Yeah, it's the correct word. That's not even hyperbole as far as animation goes. I mean, the story, the characters. I mean, at the time, dude, in '95, They brought in Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. They were like, Tom Hanks was arguably the biggest star on the planet, maybe next to...
Yeah, he just won back-to-back Oscars.
Yep. So, I mean, what, Tom Cruise, maybe... Will Smith wasn't that hot yet at the time.
No, I'd say Hanks was number one.
Hanks was one, and Tim Allen...
Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah, just massive. And Tim Allen had, like, Home Improvement and the Santa Claus.
You had the biggest movie actor and one of the biggest TV actors.
And they just nailed these voices. They inhabited them. And Toy Story, I remember watching in the theater when I was 13, and, you know, I remember kind of being frightened by Sid's toys, the baby with the spider legs, and just...
It's horrific.
And it's a very, I don't know, it's just a very tense, but I don't know, I dug it. And just the whole fact about toys not being played with, and toys are being killed, and I mean, it's very manipulative as far as merch it goes, but it's a really excellent story. I mean, you couldn't think of a better way to kick off a studio than with Toy Story.
Absolutely. And it's not just like Hanks and Alan. Like the rest of Andy's toys.
Don Rickles?
Don Rickles played ahead. You got Wallace Shawn, John Ratzenberger.
Yeah.
Yes, he's become a staple of these Pixar films. But then this was his first one. Like bringing in Cliff from Cheers to voice a piggy bank. Great.
Yeah. And Jim Varney.
And Jim Varney, of course. Jim Varney, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to start. Lasseter, I mean, he really helped kick, like, because he directed Toy Story, Bug's Life, and Toy Story 2 right off the bat.
Yeah.
Man, that dude had a good run.
He did. Well, he did Cars, but yeah.
Yeah, he had a good run.
That was a pet project for him, is the Cars films. He loved the Cars films, and he did Cars 2.
Cars had to have funded a bunch of Pixar movies. The merch alone. Like, Pixar merch
absolutely.
So it's also interesting. I don't like Cars. Yeah, well, Cars probably funded or helped fund, because like, what merch are you going to do from Ratatouille, right? What merch are you going to do? I mean, WALL-E has some. Up.
Yeah, WALL-E's got lots of. There's a lot of WALL-E merch out there.
Like Brave.
There's probably less from Up.
Yeah, it's like, what merch can you do? Like, movies like Cars help fund these passion projects.
Cars 2 immediately followed by Brave. What merch can you do from Brave other than Merida dolls?
Yeah, so I mean, you need to have movies like this to move merch. I mean, that's an international market. I keep sticking up for Cars. It makes me happy. All right, hey, we're in top 4 right now, man.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo, number 4.
Yes.
It's fun. The fish tank, the sharks, the turtles, the seagulls. Mine. This might be. Mine. Yeah. Do you think it's the most quotable?
It's the one that my wife and I quote the most often and can recite the entire thing, I think.
Nice.
It's the one I've seen the most easily. Yeah.
It looks beautiful. Bruce the shark. I have that pop up in my house.
Oh yeah.
That's Bruce, right?
I have no pops. I haven't. I've resisted the urge for pops. They've released some Jurassic Park ones, so the urge is strong. But I've resisted the pops.
I managed Comic-Cons for 5 years. It happens, you know?
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah. But then it gets addicting. You're like, there's a Jack Burton pop. There's a Quint pop. There's a Brody pop. Like,
I've only got so many shelves in my house. I can't start building shelves for pops.
We did build shelves. But see, the thing is, we built some shelves, but if we buy one, we have to put one down. So it got kind of like, we have, I don't know, 30.
Wait, when you say put one down,
we have to get rid of one.
Take it out back.
Yeah, we have to blow it up like Sid. So, but that's a good way though. Once Megan sort of established that, we're like, oh well, I don't want any more because these are perfect. So it's actually helped us.
Oh, good. I like that system.
So yeah, but I mean, Finding Nemo, like, I watched this in college, and even as like a hard partying college kid, I was like, this is amazing. It's really a kind of cool, transcendent movie. And Dory, I mean, Ellen's voice work in this is outstanding.
Albert Brooks.
Oh, Albert Brooks. Just the neurotic kind of like
the cast of the fish tank.
Yeah.
Like, you got Stephen Root, Willem Dafoe, Brad Garrett, Alison Janney.
Yeah.
Is in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just I think 4 is right though. I don't think it's a top 3er. Do you?
It's number 1 for my wife, and it's number 3 for me.
Oh, geez,
it is. It's up there for us.
Well, I guess I was a little. Where did I put it at? I probably shouldn't tell you where I ranked it.
I can see your score, so I know where you put it.
All right,
you put it 9th, and that's fine. The lowest anyone ranked it is 11th. No, 13th. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, it's not 13. I couldn't do that. I couldn't give it 13.
No, it's not. It's got to be in the top 10.
Top 3. I don't think this is controversial. What we have, do you?
What in the third spot?
Or just our top three?
Oh yeah, I think the top five